Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs, good to be here with you on Tuesday, Facebook Live. Just walking back to my bookshelf. So if you're on Facebook Live today, hopefully, Zarek, good to see you, my brother. Hopefully this will be the last day that I will be in Comcast as my carrier. So if I get bumped off, I will come right back on, but I've been experiencing very unique challenges with my internet provider, Comcast, and those of you who rely on the internet like I do with your cell phone, your laptop, your computers, you understand what that means is to have technical difficulties with your internet carrier. Aaron, good to see you, my sister. Good to see you, and Zarek, top tier teammates, honored to be your coach and friend, both of you. Aaron, how are you? Give me some love, Aaron. Good to see you always. Good to see you crushing it. And if my boy Jared's not on, tell him I said hello, and looking forward to seeing everyone here today on a beautiful day for Facebook Live. I coached Zarek earlier this morning, went for a quick walk after I coached Zarek, and then an old client called me just like that. And Zarek and I were covering, what it means to be in the flow. So that's really the topic for today's Facebook Live. Jared, good to see you this afternoon. Honored that you brought your team here, and really inspired for all of you who are here today. And so we're going to cover flow today, being in the flow and having business come to you. I coached Zarek earlier this morning, his afternoon. That's what we were covering, was how business comes to us. Business comes to us when we let go. When we let go of anxiety, fear, and doubt. When we let go of traumatic situations. When we let go of stories in our head. When we let go of this right here. It's called memorized behavior. So when we let go of memorized behavior means you grow up in a situation. Amber, always good to see you. For those of you who don't know Amber, Amber is a longtime client of mine. Everyone say hello to Amber. Amber is a homeowner and a top-tier rock star entrepreneur online. She crushes online investing. She's been to Millionaire Blueprint before and has been my client for multiple years. So those of you who've been my client for more than 1 year, I'm honored to be your coach. That would be Aaron, Aaron, Jared, Zarek soon will be. Amber's been my client for multiple years. And there'll be more of you joining here this afternoon. So I'm going to cover with you today right here. Oh, Becky Dixon, good to see you. Okay, so memorized behavior. Memorized behavior is the trauma response based on events that are unresolved. So we unconsciously go into fight or flight when we grow up in homes that are very traumatic. When you're an adult child of, fill in the blank, adult child of alcoholics, adult child of narcissists, your body goes into fight or flight when you live in unpredictability. And it's that unpredictability that you live in that creates anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt. Then if you have a personality in your family, or a coach, or a clergyman, or a mean girl, or a mean man, or a mean boy, or a brother and a sister who single you out and pick on you, and you're highly criticized, well, that critical behavior also creates fight or flight, and it pulls the body in. The body goes into fight or flight. It becomes a memorized behavior. And so this is why in selling, so many people, when asked a question, they go into And so the body reacts to the stimulus. Now, I've been following Dr. Joe Dispenza since I met him in 2006. I first heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza with the movie With the Bleep. One of my clients was an associate producer on multiple movies in Hollywood. She lived right off Coldwater Canyon Creek. Those of you know LA like I do. That's right behind the Pink Hotel, the Beverly Hills Hotel, Coldwater Canyon Creek. And my client introduced me to a woman who introduced me to Dr. Joe Dispenza when he was a nobody. He had just finished the movie What the Bleep. I booked him in 2006 to speak for me. And at the same time, I was doing a lot of speaking with John Assaraf. So this is a very unique situation. At one event in Los Angeles, I had John Assaraf and Dr. Joe Dispenza, both early in my career. This was 2007. It was a really unique time in my life for me. So yes, Jacob said he loves Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I've shared the stage with Dr. Joe 4 times. I booked him to speak in front of 700 people and 900 people on 2 different occasions in New Jersey and 200 people in Los Angeles. So if you're not following his content, I highly recommend it. Also, I would recommend John Assaraf. He was featured in the movie The Secret, and he wrote the book The Answer, among many other books. And they, like me, both focus on the brain and cause and effect and why we do what we do. I started studying mind-body connections in 1992 in early chiropractic as I was having migraine headaches. I went to a chiropractor in Stockton, California, who was very early in his career in muscle testing. He had the big kit, and I learned muscle testing from him and how to test myself. Jared Andre, good to see you, my brother. Always good to see you. Jared has been to every one of my Millionaire Blueprints, and I'm sure he'll be at the next one coming up right around the corner. So memorized behavior means in the mind-body connection, the brain-mind connection holds on to repressed feelings. Those are the ones that are buried alive that we forget and don't want to remember. And the suppressed feelings, those are the ones that the body holds on to and we sabotage ourselves over and over. In the emotional code, which will keep you recreating the same situation, that's anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. Alexis, so good to see you. Always good to see you, my young superstar. Alexis is coming up on her first year of coaching with me, and Jared Andra is in his 5th year of coaching with me. So a lot of long-timers here with me this afternoon. And Becky is a brand new client. Everyone say hello to Becky Dixon Beasley. She just reached out to me yesterday and is on today's Facebook Live. That is awesome. So for those of you here with me, I've been a coach for 28 years. I've coached over 10,000 clients, 100,000 hours. I've spoken on the stages over 1,000 times, spoken in 4 continents, 47 states, and I've been crushing it in speaking for, this is going into my 29th year. So I'm not a novice at what I do. I'm a professional, and I assist people to understand the mechanism of letting go. And the more that you understand how neurons wire together, fire together. I mean, this is a key component of letting go, and that is called the Hebb's Law, Hebbs, Hebb's Law, neurons that wire together, fire together. And so when you are in an autonomic reaction to stimulus, I mean, that means the body is running the brain. It means that your body starts before you even think about it. That's the programmed conditioning that happens. And so it happens 5 ways. It happens through trauma-based mind control. That's what governments and 3-letter agencies and the NWO and all the other, and the top of the top of the pyramid. I could give you all of this, but you know how that is. So I could spend hours breaking that down. But you want to understand that you're under heavy trauma-based mind control. The food you consume, the programming that you watch, the movies, the music, the sports, and all the advertisements that BlackRock and Vanguard uses to assist you in predicted programming. And in predicted programming, I mean, the mind sees what the brain doesn't. And so the more you understand this, that's how seduction happens, and that's how all of a sudden you end up in a lot of debt because of shiny object syndrome and other situations that you get seduced in. This is also how you end up standing in line at the pharmacies of the world waiting for the blue pill. And when you wait for the blue pill, then you become addicted to that blue pill. And that's very metaphoric for how most of life happens until you leave the matrix. So the matrix is a black and white chessboard that it's your responsibility. You have to produce your money in the matrix, but you have to come out of it in higher consciousness. And while you're in that matrix, you want to be in higher consciousness so you can spot the ideal clients and customers, so you can attract the teammates, so you can find the practitioners, so you can find the homeopathic and holistic people that you are seeking to be in alignment with in your life, your teams, your businesses, and in your personal relationships. Because what you're seeking are people who believe what you believe. Now, if you don't believe you're good enough, then your memorized behavior will continue to attract people to reinforce those feelings, and that's reinforce. So in power, you will attract people who believe what you believe in a different context. Joshua, good to see you this evening or this afternoon. Rachel, always good to see you. Recovering Dr. Rachel Maurice. A lot of courage here. I'm a big fan of former Dr. Rachel Maurice, who left the medical the medical world of Canada and is moving into soon to be a multiple six-figure monthly income earner. So there's a lot of love here this afternoon. So just be as skilled as you can in listening. Yes, I'm very familiar with Robert Greene. I read his books years ago, the 48 Laws of Power, and the books way before that. I followed Greene for years. So when you have a better understanding of cause and effect, why you do what you do, then you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. So transformation is science. As you begin to understand the science of how neurons wire together, that fire together. So your objective as you're in this process of recovery, sobriety, and higher consciousness is not to rewire, it is to wire a new set of circuits based on unconditional love, based on your ability to access the truth, your ability to believe in yourself and others, your ability to trust your intuition, your extrasensory perception, be able to access the quantum field, access the Akashic records, so that you are now downloading a different set of content that allows you to understand truth. This is a very deep book right here called Truth versus Falsehood. It's a very thick book written by David Hawkins. It's not one of his popular books, but it definitely breaks down the psychology of truth. He has a chapter called The Psychology of Truth. And the reason that truth is so important to you, because once you're in truth, you're out of denial. So when you're in truth, then your communication style is not filled with kindas, probablys, sort of, guesses, and if I had to say. To be totally honest with you, well, if you have to say you're totally honest, then you're not totally honest, because if you're honest, then you don't have to be totally. You're honest, and you don't have to say, you don't have to precede your conversation, because in the level of flow in conversation, you are truth. And when you know the truth, then you're not in denial. When you know the truth, then you're not in any brain fog. And when you know the truth and live the truth, then you're not pathologically lying, telling stories. And as you understand the truth, you can understand a pathological liar. In sales, marketing, branding, owning your own business, you will see many people who will tell you what they think you want to hear because they're commitment phobic. So they will tell you, I'll get back to you. Let me check my finances. Let me run it by the fireman, the dog catcher, someone down the street in the same financial position as I am. I mean, you'll encounter this, and it's your responsibility to understand in higher consciousness as you let go of people-pleasing, as you let go of over-obligating, enabling, and doing more for others who are more broken than you. When you are broken, you will typically attract your reality. People are as equally broken or more broken than you to fulfill your neurochemical craving. That's your wiring. That's your predicted programming. And so as you have a better understanding of that, better boundaries, and you're letting people go in a relaxed body, now you're creating the separation required to be in higher consciousness. Higher consciousness means that you're living daily in trust, in truth, in belief, in certainty, especially certainty, because certainty brings you across the bridge from courage to consciousness. When you're certain, you're not doubting. Doubting is the analytical, egoic left brain that analyzes, validates, justifies, explains itself, rather than being clear and being able to, when you ask a question and someone does not answer the question, they tell you a story, you're able to cut them off diplomatically and say, that's not the question I ask you. When you're able to have that posture, then you're not worried about someone getting offended by you. If you're afraid someone's going to be offended, then you will create that situation to fulfill the feeling. When you let go of what is someone going to think about me, then you don't attract the people who think you're a flake because you're acting like one. When you let go of worrying about the future that hasn't happened, then you're in the present, and you'll find more people who are present moment aware of you. You'll find people who believe what you believe. That becomes your culture, your tribe, your cult, your following, your friends, your homies, your brothers, your sisters, your tribe. And so as you start to bring that to your reality, you'll start to attract that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teammates that allow you to create a multiple 6, 7-figure, 6-figure months, 7-figure months, 8-figure years. When you live in that certainty, if you're an investor, you're not consumed with mistakes because you're not a mistake, but you're in the flow. And when you're in this level of flow, there's no such thing as a bad day or a good day, because what has happened in higher consciousness is you have moved out of duality. So we are conditioned through memorized behavior. We're conditioned in all sporting events that there's a winner and a loser. We're conditioned in life that if you're not winning, you're losing. We're conditioned in life that it's black or it's white. We're conditioned in life that it's right and it's wrong. So we live out this whole duality, so it becomes the all or nothing syndrome. Well, you can't run a business like this. And so you don't, when you're in higher consciousness, you don't have good days and bad days. They're all days because they're relative to production in a relaxed body, free of guilt, attracting to your reality, quality, like-minded people that either can commit or don't commit, and the higher your own vibration, transmutation of energy, the higher the love that you're transmuting, the joy, the bliss, the enlightenment that you're transmuting, the higher the probability that people begin to show up. Now, people show up as parking spaces show up, seats at concerts, seats at sporting events, restaurants. They're all symbolism and signs that you're in the flow. And when you're in the flow, life has a flow for you. I pulled up to a restaurant Saturday night, and there's a jazz musician playing a great big jazz guitar, the kind that Al Di Meola used to play from the movie Return to Forever. I saw them like 100 years ago. That was Chick Corea and Return to Forever. Stanley Clarke. For any of those who are jazz aficionados, look them up. I mean, these are like these are the rock stars of jazz. So he was playing a jazz guitar, and I walk in and he starts playing Bobby Caldwell, which you won't do for love. And then he plays another song of mine that's a favorite. I don't ask him for this, but then I walk over to him and I put the $20 in his tip jar. He looks at me, I look at him. We have a whole conversation between our eyes. Now, this happens to me in restaurants, bars, nightclubs, all of the time because I expect it. And I mean, this is how life is. It's in flow. In a restaurant called Maggiano's, which is there's like 60 of them across the United States. There's a man that plays in the Atlanta one, and he can play French horn and play piano with one hand and sing all at the same time. And I have him on video doing that. And I used to go there 4 or 5 times a year. I'd walk in and he would play What You Don't Do for Love. I mean, once again, this is all unconscious. This is a different memorized behavior. This is high level of attractor factor. This is expectation. I waited tables with 3 guys in 1980, Charlie Gito, Michael Garozzo, and Eric Sweeney. All 3 of them went on to be top-tier, multi-millionaire restaurateurs. Charlie Gito's owns Charlie Gito's in St. Louis. Michael Garozzo owned 5 Italian restaurants, #1 Italian restaurant in Kansas City. Eric Sweeney owns one of the top 5 barbecue joints, Botley's Barbecue in Shawnee Mission, Kansas. All 4 of us were in the same restaurant at the same time between 1980 and 1982. I mean, you can't make this up. This is divine. This is by design. Charlie Gito died of cancer, but whenever I'd go to St. Louis, I was his homeboy. I was his paisano. He would set me up with the best table in the joint. That's what it's called in mafia Italian lore. Whenever I eat with my boy Michael Garozzo, the exact same situation. Top table, hey cuz, hey paisano. I mean, it's like this. Now, see, this is poetry. This is chemistry. You can't make this up. This is by divine. This is design. When you walk with God, when you surrender, when you let go on command, when you are no longer the mind-body connection, the events that shape the feelings, when you can cry from pain and cry from love, then you are absolutely transmuting. You are releasing. You are letting go. You're letting go of the trauma bonds, the brain fog. You're letting go of the feelings of not being good enough from the parent that singled you out. If you've ever had a parent that singled you out and was afraid of your brilliance and they held you back, because you might actually be the star of the family if you've ever experienced that. Or you're the black sheep like me. See, black sheeps aren't really the standard black sheep. A black sheep in my world is someone who accesses the content, downloads the content, knows as a child. These are indigo children. These are brilliant children. These are children in a whole different level and league. They don't fit in the school system. The school system boxes them out, says they have ADD, ADHD, all these other situations. And in athletics, typically, you don't fit in athletics either because you're too brilliant, because then you're not called a team player. Because you're so good that you don't fit into the team. And then oftentimes that player quits and gets disappointed. Well, we all get a second chance, and this is your second chance in life. It's called free enterprise, or it's called recovery. It's called sobriety, because sobriety saved my life. On December 18th, 1988, I ended up in a heroin clinic in a wheelchair, in a gown with the shower slippers, wheeled into my first 12-step meeting in recovery. Now, I've been to multiple 12-step meetings forced by the system for DUIs, public intoxications, breaking and enterings, hit and runs, and a multitude of transgressions that the laundry list of my rap sheet was very long. It was a long rap sheet, and it definitely was not a resume. My resume in that of the 20s was a series of transgressions that landed me in prison for a year. And that didn't get me sober. It took me 14 more months of drinking myself to delirium tremors and to rock bottom. When the pain was great enough, and unfortunately, that's the way a lot of addicts get it, and that's not what you want to be doing, but that's what happened to me. The pain was great enough, and that one magical, mythical day, December 18th, which is my sobriety date, I said, I can't do this anymore. The pain is too great. And a power greater than self that I choose to call God allowed me to surrender. And then that day that I surrendered, I no longer wanted to drink. It was like a power greater than self had come over me, and I lost my desire, my thirst, my quest to be a drunk, to be an addict, to be an alcoholic, to be a womanizer, a pathological liar, a cheater, a thug, a thief, a drug dealer. It's like this. Miracles happen. Happen to me, can happen to you. I'm from a small town like this big, Clarinda, Iowa, and another small town this big, Maryville, Missouri. Northwest Missouri, Southwest Iowa, right by Omaha, Nebraska. No one mentored me. No one taught me. I mean, I'm self-taught, self-made, and you can do the exact same thing. Every single one of you can cross that bridge called consciousness. But if you live in anxiety, fear, and doubt, criticizing yourself. See, criticizing yourself is the biggest deterrent that will keep you from living your dreams. You want to be honest with yourself, not critical of yourself, and then you want to be able to access your highest level of consciousness. There's no such thing as a bad month. Every month is a month. There's no such day as a bad day. Every day is a day. So today, find your flow. Let it come to you today. If you have not had an exceptional day today, finish it. Finish it off. Thank you, Jared. Jared said he feels me. So if someone said they feel me, that means they know me. So if you feel me, tell me you feel me, because you're feeling yourself. Because I'm just the steward here. I'm the sage on the journey. I'm showing you the way, because I've been in it for over 38 years. So if you feel me, I feel you. That's why we're coaching, or that's why we're connected. So let me know if you feel me or you feel the same pain I feel. So if you see the tears that come from my eyes, that's real. I've been crying those tears for 38 years, and I'll cry them another 38 years, because they don't go away. Because that's what you feel. See, when you start feeling, then people feel you. That becomes your attractor factor. Then you're not being fake. You're not a poser. You're not trying to close people because they close themselves. You're not trying to backdoor people. You're not trying to get people. They find you. That's what flow is. And I've been enforced a lot of my life too, so I understand that. I've been robbed, pulled down on. I've done the same things. I've felt that rage, that unresolved anger. But once you begin to release that and surrender that to God, a power greater than self, miracles begin to happen. So if you're struggling, it's such a waste of your energy. It's such a waste of time. There's no such thing as a noble struggler. Struggling isn't noble. It's exhausting. There's no value to it. Let it go, boyfriend, girlfriend. Give it up. The pleasure isn't worth the pain. Step into your power. CRUSH. Crush it. Just get the can and crush it. Do it. The pleasure isn't worth the pain. And if you're young, I commend you for having the courage, the guts to be in business for yourself. It is challenging. It's difficult. How do you even explain your $100,000 in credit card debt? You have no credit, and you say, I'm not getting a job. I'm not doing that again. That takes courage. Or how do you explain the courage it takes to be sober? It takes a lot of courage to cross the sobriety bridge. It takes a lot of courage to let go. It takes a lot of courage to be and stay in business and live on fumes and nothing, man. No one's going to give you a hug and a high five but me. No one will give you a Medal of Honor. You don't require it. But I promise you I'll give you a hug for having the courage to be and stay in recovery. Man, it takes guts. It takes willpower. It takes surrendering. It takes being able to let go of your ego. Man, that ego wants you to struggle. It wants you to hold on. It wants you to stay in the familiar. It wants you to continue to tiptoe quietly through life and arrive at your grave safely, because then you prove people right. The people that tell you you're never good enough and are going to make it, you prove them right. It's completely contradictory, paradoxical, and a waste of your energy. You're good enough. The only person's permission that you require is yours. And when you begin to surrender and let go of that, you will see miracles begin to happen. It happens to me so many times, and it will definitely happen to you. Number one, because you deserve it. You're raising your value ladder. You're in free enterprise, or you found someone who can assist you to access higher consciousness, sobriety, recovery. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. Deeply honored to be here with you on a beautiful Tuesday, year of our Lord, November 4th, 2025. Thank you deeply from the center of my heart for being my client, my friend, following me. I'm honored to be here with you. Have a great afternoon and a great evening.